Hey, what's going on, guys? And today I wanted to do a video demo of the Blissful Nights functionality with the adjustable bed frame. Now, before we do a demo, I did just want to mention that there are many variations of the Blissful Nights bed frames. This particular one that I have here, this is actually a flat version that does not have feet. So more or less this would be for something like a storage bed, where if you have storage cabinets under your bed frame, you can actually get a flat version that does not have feet. There are also other variations that do have feet, and they're more or less going to function all the same. So I'm going to go through in this video, I'll show you some of the functionality of this and how it works. So this is the remote that it comes with, and you have many different functions here. One thing I want to point out is when my wife and I are basically in bed at night, we did end up mounting this large TV here in the corner of our bedroom. Works out really quite nicely, and there are some functions that actually kind of match for TV watching with this particular remote. So as you can see here, if we hit this TV button, this will actually automatically go into a setting that's kind of designed for TV mode. You get a little bit of an arch here at the bottom, and then the base in the center stays about flat, and then the backside raises up to a fairly good height. So overall, you get a nice comfortable position to sit in while watching TV, and I've found that this actually works really well. Alternatively, if you don't like that specific setting, you can simply hit the negative button and it's going to completely reset the bed back to its normal height. One thing I will remind you of is if you are going to get this frame, you are going to want to make sure you have a memory foam style mattress, something that actually can bend and sort of withstand the bending and contorting that the frame is going to do. If you don't have that style mattress, then this may not really work all that well for you. So let's go through some of the other settings. Here you can see we have a setting for the massage function. This is fairly basic. It kind of puts a vibration into the top portion of the bed frame. We can do both. So now you can hear the entire bed is basically going, and then you can do just your feet. If you don't want any of these on, you can also put this into a sleep mode. I'm actually going to negative out everything, so we go back. So I've now completely shut off all functionality. This is a sleep mode that they also suggest. So if I hit this, this basically just raises the backside ever so slightly. So this is, I guess, one of the positions that they recommend as like a sleeping mode. I'd say it's a little bit too high for my comfort, but if we actually, again, go back to default settings, I'm going to show you what you can do to raise some of these, and then I'll also show you the 0G setting. So if you want to do your own manual settings, let's say that we just want to raise this ever so slightly. This works as a plus button, and this works as basically a minus button. So I can hit this in small increments and just do ever so slight changes. So usually my wife prefers it to be a little bit raised at the head section. I found that, you know, sometimes I would get like, because I spend a lot of time at the desk, sometimes I get like sciatic pain symptoms, and typically that can happen due to the way that you sleep. So if you raise a little bit in the legs, you know, now I could go up a little bit in the legs, this would give me a little bit more relief from stuff like that and give me a little bit more evenness in the support of my spine. So we also have some settings here at the bottom. If you hit the minus button, this goes into another preset mode, and you can preset any of these. So if you have something specific that you found that you really like, you can go into any of these settings. So that's another really nice thing about it. I'm going to go back to 0, and then we're going to do the 0G mode, and then that'll give you kind of a full idea of all the functionality that this thing has to offer. So this is a bit more of an intense mode. I found this one to be a little bit comical, really. So if we hit 0G, this almost completely puts the bed almost as contorted as it can be, pretty much crunching everything in all the way. So you can see we get the legs coming up pretty significantly, and actually almost higher than the back. So this doesn't raise quite as high as it could, but it really puts like a good curvature in here. And I'm not really sure the intended use of the 0G mode, but it is definitely quite funny the first time I did this. Another thing I will note with this particular product is, depending on your setup, if you have the leg version or this version, we do have some cats, and they typically love to go in spaces that have been revealed for the first time. So we have had a couple issues where one of our cats will love to climb under this, and they'll actually stay underneath in the base in the middle. And you really have to be careful, because obviously if you were to bring this down, it could crush them or hurt them. So just be cautious of animals or pets. Even dogs, small dogs, could potentially try to climb in under here. So just something to bear note when using this. And other than that, I really love this product. I think if you're looking for something to add a base layer of nice support to the bed frame, as well as having this full range of adjustability. This is definitely a really awesome product. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you found the video review helpful.